So we know retail media has grown significantly. Like there's been a lot of development in the last couple of years. Where is it going next, and what trends are you watching?
I think we're just at the start of it. So if I look at the overall spend, I think GroupM came out last week and said that it was of digital retail media is now 20%, and it's amazing to think that that is just the inception. I think where we started was sponsored ads. Then we'll go to display, but I think offsite is the next frontier. And when I think about offsite, everybody uses that term interchangeably. What I'm talking about is the ability to take a retailer audience into a unique environment on the open web, but do so with closed loop measurement that attaches back to your on-site activity. And I think what that does is it opens up this idea or the concept to have lower level performance metrics. So ROAS, CTR, whatever it may be, and take that to upper funnel tactics, which I think is going to be an unlock. Because it gives us a new measurement capability and it gives us a new way to bring a benchmark to upper funnel marketing, which we haven't had.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, the unlock is really around corporate marketing dollars, right? Moving beyond shopper marketing.
Yeah, and if you look where retail media came from, Amazon set the foundation. Others followed. So now if you look at the marketplace in general, we have, Criteo alone has 160 retailers that we represent of all different sizes. But the majority of that, as I said, was you're moving some trade dollars over. Now what we're starting to see, and we can see this, where the money comes from. Does it come from a brand where we have 1,600 brand relationships? But of that, I believe we have almost 40% comes through agencies. In the past, at least the holding companies didn't touch the trade dollars. So I think you see this evolution where within a large agency, they're linking trade dollars to upper funnel activity to have one overall view of the marketing mix. They're building different practices out. But at the same time, you have independent or performance agencies who maybe just did Amazon, who are extending out to these new retail channels. So you see it moving from both sides.
It's interesting because I was actually going to ask you about the agencies next. What is your perspective on how this evolves within agencies? Because, it was sort of tranched off.
Yeah.
Does it become something that's more core? Does it become part of the overall, management program for P&G? Like, how does that evolve inside an agency?
I've been so impressed with the talent that sits inside the agencies. Now, I think the way that I've seen it develop is you typically see a practice lead for commerce, and that could depend where it is. It could be on the media side. In some cases, we see that on the holdco level, so trying to link the creative execution back. And now I think what you're seeing is, okay, what's the right structure to build around that? Because if I think about, again, retail media, if you started with search, a lot of that came out of the search team, so it wasn't even connected to the overall media activation.
Totally.
So two different flows going on, one of which is within media in general. How do I take search, display, and then offsite, and how does that play into the overall strategy for media execution? And the same is true from a holdco level or a large agency, which is, hey, I've got all these different disciplines. How do I link this to my creative execution? How do I think about analytics? And some of the agencies as well have their own consulting practices. So that plays into it as well, whether it's Sapient with Publicis or Wonderman with GroupM. A lot of them have these that they're building up as well. So it's touching every facet of the organization.
Right on. How do smaller retailers play in the space?
Yeah.
One of the things I think about is when you're big, you have the ability to help make the market how you would like it to work. When you're small, that's a lot more challenging. So how do they play?
I think for any retailer, everybody's searching for growth. So regardless of size, if you think about the ability to open up a monetization opportunity, that's an area of growth. How you approach that could be differently. So for us, for example, we acquired a company called Mabaya. Mabaya offers a very, I think, simplified version of a self-serve tool that they can set up, again, a different size retailer. And they may just use that on their merchants, on their own trade relationships, and not do anything beyond that. Others, I think, are beginning to say, great, well, what's the next evolution of that? Do we begin to put different types of retailers side by side that may be complementary? How do I build that out? I think you look at marketplaces, so in a situation like that, which is where do I present my products? Do I go as part of a larger marketplace to be able to bring that to light? So I think it helps, again, retailers of all sizes. And I think that in itself then causes a challenge to the ecosystem, because right now we have a tremendous amount of fragmentation. Nobody wants another walled garden. And if you look at, I don't know, it may have been, I think it was eMarketer who said, we went from 4 on average, the average 4 retail media networks we were buying last year, that's going to go to 8 to 12. And we're not adding more people to do this. So if I have 12 different platforms I have to log in, how efficient am I going to be in buying on those platforms? So I think smaller retailers will play into it. I think we'll still see them start to band together in some way that hasn't taken shape yet. And I think they'll probably be a view, and what Criteo is trying to solve is how do we bring unification to what is a fragmented marketplace?